Mine sucks. Got it. Welcome to the New Year's episode. Happy New Year's Day, New Year's Eve. We are here. Woo. We are here for you on New Year's Day.
That's right.
We wanted to make sure that the people out there got something to listen to, something to do while you nurse your hangover, try to bail your family member out of prison, whatever it is. Actually, Mike Cannon and I are here, but this is AI-generated content because we were killed on New Year's Eve. Also, I'll tell you what's not AI-generated is Slam Studios, and that's where we're coming from the Slam Magazine headquarters right here in Long Island City. The good folks at Slam Magazine have said that we can use their space, and this is the new home of the Chrissy Chaos Studios. So go out there, get slammed, and get some Slam magazines.
That's right. They heard what we like to do to our butts, so they were like, we have a perfect studio for you.
2024, it's finally here. How are you liking 2024 so far, Michael?
I'm feeling quite hopeful for the next 12 months.
Are you feeling good about 2024?
I'm feeling quite optimistic. I don't know why I've adopted this accent, but it feels pretty good.
Well, I would love to celebrate this New Year's in Ireland.
There's nothing I'd like more. Have you ever celebrated New Year's in a warm climate?
Not I've Ireland, never celebrated New Year's or Christmas in a warm climate because I do have a bit of a Nazi mother who says I cannot miss the different holidays. I have to stay there, and even though I will only get one spin around this lovely planet, I have to do exactly what she says, and I have to do every single tradition she says, even though I'd love to experience something different, because guess what the truth is? My mother's a bit of a cunt.
And that's the benefit of having just no relationship with either of your parents.
Yes. I guess
I don't have any obligations.
That is the silver lining there, Michael, is at least for you, it doesn't matter because nobody cares less about you than your mum and dad.
Nobody cares less about me than the two people responsible for my existence.
That's what it is. Well, happy New Year's and happy everything to you. I mean, what a lovely day. I actually spent my New Year's upstate. I spent it upstate with Jasmine and my two little girls. Violet and Delilah, because my stepson said he didn't want to come because he wanted to experience it with his daddy.
Oh.
I said, well, go ahead, whatever you'd like to do.
Whatever you'd like to do, I understand. Masculinity is important for the beginning of a year.
I said, why don't you bring your daddy upstate? The more the merrier.
Bring him upstate. Why not? I spent New Year's Eve flying home from flying home from
We're gonna make it the whole way. This is the episode. The episode is the Irish accent. Keep going, we're not breaking it. Go. Get it right back, Michael.
I was flying home from Michigan.
Get it right back. It'll snap right in. Snap, crackle, and pop.
Snap, crackle, and pop. For whatever reason, I can't say fly.
Fly. So you were flying in from where were you coming in
home.
from?
Home is the one.
Home.
Home.
You say home. Let's say home like we're from Philadelphia. Home. Our Irish goes to Philadelphia. Flag home. With a hoogie.
I'm sweating so much from the fun I'm having.
Well, you know what? I got to be honest with you. I've been sweating just the right half of my body here because in my head, I really think there's a fire, but it's just on the TV. So where are you flying home from?
I fly home from Grand Rapids, Michigan. It was a grand trip.
Grand Rapids. So you actually did a show there, right there, on New Year's Eve in Michigan?
I didn't. I did. New Year's Eve for me is for fucking amateurs. People go out that aren't used to drinking and they make a fool of themselves.
Now, let me ask you this, Michael. Did you bring your family with you to Grand Rapids?
I didn't because I did Lansing. I performed in a yoga studio
the
night before.
A yoga studio?
On December 29th.
Wow, you did a yoga studio. Well, let me tell you
something. That's why I'm looking forward to the new year.
Well, let me tell you something about Lansing now, dear.
Oh.
State capital. Did you know it?
I didn't. I just knew it's where Magic got his AIDS.
Yes. Yes. That is a fact. And whether it's corroborated or not, it doesn't matter, because here on the Chrissy Chaos podcast, we stand by what we say.
That's right.
And you say Magic Johnson got AIDS in Lansing, I'll say Magic Johnson got AIDS in Lansing.
And he was cured. Cured in Los Angeles.
He was cured. He's a bit of a black leprechaun, isn't he? He can cure. I'll tell you what. Yeah,
he has 2 pots of gold at the end of his rainbow.
He does have 2 pots of gold, and he does love rainbows because there's rumors he's gay.
There's rumors there were some big orgies in the 80s in Los Angeles, and hey, who knows what you might slip into.
I'll tell you what.
In the heat of the moment.
I'll tell you what's rearing to happen here is we keep making these Magic Johnson gay AIDS jokes. We're going to get kicked right out of Slam Magazine. That's one of their guys. He's been on the cover many times.
That makes a lot of sense.
Well, you can't cover up the fact that I know you got AIDS. Well, this is one of these things where, because we weren't even going to do the podcast, and then Vito said, you know, there's a lot of lonely boys and girls out there that they need your voice right now.
That's right.
They're sitting here alone on New Year's Day, starting off the new year. So we said, we're here to give it to you. Even though it's not our voice, we're doing an Irish accent.
That's right. It's not just lonely. It's the anxiety of doing cocaine from New Year's Eve.
Yes, it
or
is.
some Molly or any type of upper that just saps you of all your endorphins.
Yeah.
And then you're going into the new year with suicidal ideation.
Yes. That's what was the last word you said there?
Ideation.
Ideation.
That's the only word I could say with full confidence.
I learned a new word this weekend reading my book there, The Case for Christ. Do you know what the word iconoclast means? You're being an iconoclast.
Oh, yeah. Is it of the time?
That doesn't, not even close there, brother. Of the time would mean you're contemporary.
Oh, that's zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist is what it is. Iconoclast means you're someone who takes down big political or religious figures. You like to take them down. You're being a bit of an iconoclast. Yes, I've been using them. I heard Jasmine yesterday. She was over there. She was talking about disparaging our president, and I said, "You're being an iconoclast." And she said, "What does that even mean?" I said, read The Case for Christ and
That's
you'll find
right.
out. Yes.
That's right. And frankly, I find your vocabulary to be quite limited, even though I just learned that word yesterday.
Yes, it is quite, yes. Jasmine went ahead and 2 weeks ago had a bit of a nervous breakdown there, and she cut her own hair. How about that? I swear to God, I came home and she cut her own hair. I said, "Who's this Hasidic Jewish woman standing in front of me?" Is her name Sarah? I said, somebody
Did she
give
cut
me
it with a pair of shears or just a knife?
She cut it. No, she cut it right there with a pair of scissors that she got right there from the kitchen there. And I said, "What the hell did you do that for?" And I said, "I would have gladly paid to get your hair professionally done. I mean, your hair, you look like Lancelot."
You look like Lord Farquaad from Shrek.
Yes, you look like Rosebud Baker.
You look like your name is Ishmael and you're working on a farm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
So you had a good New Year's. Yeah, I'm looking forward. Well, it's in the past,
right?
But time is a construct to me, so it's all happening here at once. But I will say that even though today feels like December the 11th, it's not. It's January 1st, and I will say, even though if we could just play pretend like I'm right here on December 11th, I will say, even though we're going with good friends upstate to celebrate New Year's Eve, I kind of wish I hadn't been going. I'd like to just sit home and not even think about my suitcase. I've been on the road too long. But I already paid and I can't get the money back, and I'm just going to have to deal with it.
Well, how many of you?
It's going to be about 8 or 9.
That's too many.
That's too many. I'm not the guy that ever like to go rent a house and drink and have a kind of a weekend. I got too much anxiety. I want to just sit at home and watch the Santa Claus. Oh, that's right. And I forgot. I do also have to, even though because it's December 11th, I do have to go home today and find the time to watch a movie because Vito wrote me into a podcast where I got to watch a fucking movie.
What is it? Is it any particular film or it's just one at your leisure?
What's the film there, Vito?
It's
That's our Irish producer, Vito Spaghetti.
It's Santa Claus is Real.
Santa Claus is Real. That's the movie. I'm going to try to watch it.
Is it starring Tim Allen? Is that the third one?
No, this is starring some woman on Netflix.
Tim Allen. I've just read a report on Tim Allen that says he's a nightmare, a bit of a nightmare to work with.
Is that true?
On the set of the Santa Claus there, which doesn't. That was the issue.
It's
I had a bit of a pop.
When it's unimpeded, it's a much better sound.
Unimpeded, good word. So he is a bit of a supposedly a dick, but I will say to you that it doesn't matter for me if you're being a bit of a dick on the set or not. I like the product you put out. The movie makes me happy.
That's right. And as long as you're being a dick to the children as well and you're keeping it all equal.
Yes, keeping it all equal.
Was that the report? Were they saying he was shoving the children that played the elves into the snow?
Is that what they were doing? Well, I think the issue was they were saying he was only shoving the black ones. And that's not okay.
And he said, I remember when I destabilized your neighborhood with cocaine.
Yes, yes. A good American. So, yes. So, but I read a report, but I do love myself. I will say though, and I wonder if any of our lovely listeners out there feel the same as I will say this time of year for me, for Christmas, New Year's is not as fun as it was because, I'm not in school anymore. So
right.
It's as a matter of fact, it feels like my career's going nowhere.
Because it's a bit of a dead season, isn't it?
It's a. Now we're going.
Oh, no.
Hey, what we've done is we've just went over to the next island of England. Welcome.
Sorry, I just switched over to loyalist.
You're a loyalist, you fucking piece of shit. You piece of shite.
Shite.
So, what? So,
did you leave Santa out some soda bread?
Yes, I did leave Santa out some soda bread. And I did, and I will say for probably the fourth or fifth time in a row that I don't think the family liked my gifts. I don't think they loved them. Do you go above and beyond? And this should probably be saved for the Christmas episode.
Sure.
You actually heard some of the stuff we're talking about last week. And so,
but not in this accent?
Not in this accent. That's the difference here. We commit to the bit.
That's right.
Okay, we haven't been doing a bit of this.
I'm so sweaty that these glasses are sliding down the bridge of my nose.
Yes. Well, you want to talk about being sweaty? 10 minutes left or 10 minutes in?
Same.
That's a good one. I will tell you what. If you would have told me that we're only 10 minutes into this bit, I would have said, "You're lying, Jesus, Mary. You're lying, Jesus, Mary, and St. Peter."
This is more of a physical effort than any practice I've ever done for any sport.
But you know what? Same thing I tell you is what I tell my daughters. What you start is what you finish.
So I tell my daughters.
That's what I tell my daughters, man. My daughters be Jamaican. And this is the content that you get for free here. And so, but what was I saying? Oh, sweating down. Speaking of sweating, I was taking a flight the other day there to Salt Lake. Aer Lingus. No, this one wasn't Aer Lingus. It was JetBlue. No, actually, it wasn't. What am I talking about? It was Delta.
Oh.
Delta. Great lounge you got there.
Lovely variant.
Delta. One of my favorites. Now, what happened was I was sitting in my seat, and because where I was coming from was cold, because of where I was going was cold, to Salt Lake City, I said, let me keep my jacket on, even though no matter where you're flying, 35,000 feet in the air, it's always cold.
Sure.
It's always going to be cold.
Every time.
So I'm an idiot. So I kept my jacket on. And then I was sitting so tight to the guy next to me that I couldn't get my body to take my jacket off. So I just sat there with my jacket on. And when I got up, I was set sweat everywhere and I was dripping sweat and I was soaking wet and I didn't take my jacket off. But I guess the silver lining in there is, I like to say silver lining because it feels like the word silver is, I can really get it good with the Irish.
It's perfect.
You look right in with the silver. But I was, the silver lining is I guess I sweat out a bit of basically like a sauna.
That's right. Yeah,
Yes.
you got in shape on that flight, didn't you?
I did.
It's like you take one of the, fuck.
There we go. You slip in and out, you slippery little fucker. Come on, regroup.
It's an infrared sauna. Fuck.
Anytime we're slipping out of the oxygen, we need a break. You go, and then we reset. So, the infrared sauna there. Yeah,
I've done that as well, though, and it feels as though you've been sleeping through flu symptoms.
It does.
You get up and you're like, wow, I didn't even feel it until I moved my body, and now I'm freezing all over.
Speaking of flu symptoms, and I'm going to put it to the test this winter. Speaking of flu symptoms, is that red? I went ahead, and I know that my mother and father there have always told me since I'm a wee little lad to always cover up my head in the cold. And I said, you don't know shit, Dad. You've got through third grade education. And Mom, you're divorced. So you're not a good Catholic. So, so I said, I'm not listening to you. But I read an article that said, you have a 50% less chance of catching a cold there and getting sick this winter if you just cover up your head. That one of the main ways for the cold slipping into your head that's why they call it a head cold.
Wow.
It's because your head's cold. So you just kind of there's a lot of times in life where they're spelling it right out there for you, and I'm not listening, and I'm wondering why I'm getting getting sick all the time. I said, well, your head's cold. That's why, and I'm not keeping my head warm. But now we're 5 minutes away.
Don't they understand that we have to be stage presentable?
Yeah.
We can't be pulling off a winter cap out of nowhere all the time and have just tufts of hair going all over.
Tufts of hair. I will say my hair's a bit
Tufts,
finer.
That's my what did you say? Perfect? Tufts is mine.
Perfect. Tufts University down there in Atlanta.
You know, I was going to play...
Take a minute.
I was going to play basketball there.
At Tufts University?
At Tufts University. I got in. They offered me a small scholarship, so it was still about 93,000 per year. And I couldn't afford it.
You can't do it. Instead, you went up there to Rockland State Community College, wherever you went.
I went to Geneseo State University near Rochester.
Michael.
That's how I'll get back into it. Michael. Yeah.
Michael
I'll
is
recenter myself. I've been losing the accent.
Well, let's ask the people out there. Can you go ahead and comment on the YouTube community board? How good are our Irish accents? And do you want us to maybe do this once a month?
Your accent has been shockingly good, and your stamina is incredible.
Well, I've had about 3 cups of coffee and a French toast muffin from Pumpernickel Bagel, which is right near here. See, that's the thing now. We used to have to keep where our podcast location was a secret. But now, since it's in the actual contract that I have to shout out exactly where we are, we might as well say fuck it. Say, shout out all the local businesses we're getting from.
And we got armed guards at the door.
We do got armed guards at the door, and his name's Brittany Griner. That's the second offense. One more, we're probably out of here. Well, it was good while it lasted there, Michael. Wouldn't it be something? Wouldn't it be funny if we could just imagine that today is actually December 11th and it's not New Year's, but by the time the actual New Year's Day came, we've already been evicted.
December 12th, we got a cease and desist.
Yes. Wouldn't that be something for you, Michael?
Well, I believe Brittany Griner's shoe is back there. It's a size 48.
Yes, it is. We love Brittany Griner. We're happy that she's home. We're happy that she got home safe.
Welcome home, Brit.
Welcome home.
You shouldn't have done all that time for cartridges.
Yeah, it's just for little cartridges. So, Michael, what do you hope the new year has in store for you?
I hope the new year has in store for us just a lot of love, positivity, and, a lot of self-shame.
Right, self-shame and love. Do you see, I'm hoping myself that 2024 is a year where I can just finally kind of calm down mentally and just kind of be in the present, because it's been tough for me.
Sure.
Right?
I'll tell you, the Irish are not maybe the best people to embody if that's your goal.
Yes.
To get out of your head.
Get out of my head. I would like to spend more time in Ireland. I do have the fascination of living in Europe one day, but it's probably just that, a fascination.
Let's both of us, let's retire. Let's get a farm together.
I would
leave our families to live in another area entirely.
I would love to retire. One of my first girlfriends' name, she was Irish. I guess I shouldn't say her name. She was Irish. And she was, what a lovely, lovely girl she was. Yeah, her older sister, she moved back home to the mother country in Ireland, and she said she loves it.
She loves it.
She loves it. She said, once you get out of America, she says, you don't want to come back. Well, I said, you're not going to come back because you're an immigrant as far as I'm concerned.
There's been a swift ban of your people.
Yeah, there's a swift ban of your people. I bleed red, white, and blue, even though I do have Irish roots. And when I say I have Irish roots, I mean my mother has red hair. I don't know that she's Irish. She might be German.
My family's from Mayo, which I've recently been told by some Irish people that is the Alabama of Ireland. And my family is from a bunch of cousin fucking inbreds that have just routinely had sex with family members.
Yeah,
and have just, given birth to this.
They're fucking red-haired rednecks. Now, quickly, and then we'll jump here. I watched, I would like to give you a recommendation if you're just sitting at home alone today. 2 big shows on Netflix that I absolutely loved. I spoke about one of them already, The House of Usher, which I thought for the longest time was about the singer Usher, but it wasn't.
Thought it was about how he got his herpes.
Yes, which it happens. But then another one. But then, not saying it happened to me. Then I do have HPV though, but who doesn't?
Who doesn't? You're not working hard enough if you don't get it. It's a battle wound.
So, but, I think but is what. But sounds better than but. But, I will say, this weekend when I spent, actually 3 weekends ago when I spent in Salt Lake City and Denver, I watched World War II from the front lines in color.
Added it to my queue.
Let me tell you, you know me, I'm a bit of a history buff, and I've watched all the World War II documentaries, and I know all of the stories told different ways by different people from different sides of the front line.
That's right.
This one, far and away, my friend Michael.
Yeah.
Number one.
Was it straight out of Argentina?
No, it wasn't. They didn't mention anything about Argentina, but we will on the next episode. But I will say, because I did watch a movie called The Condor's Nest on the flight home, which was about chasing Nazis in Argentina. So it's wild that you said that. It's like you're in my brain. So I will say this: am I losing it a bit? The accent.
I think we're both. We've each gone in and out. I feel like you've maintained it the best so far.
Let me just reset. Welcome back. So I will say this one is the best. The World War II in color. What they can do now to the footage. What you can do to the footage now that was for the longest time in black and white. We'd see it as children. When you put it in color, Michael, I think had such a profound effect on me that I wonder if it'll stop people dead in their tracks who want war and who want to go firsthand into a third world war. Will see this stuff in color and think twice.
Is it because it mirrors reality a bit more?
Exactly what it is. When you actually see what the Nazis' fabric of their uniforms look like and what Hitler's mustache...
Were they well made?
They were well made. As we've spoken about before, I do disparage the Nazis and I don't like what they did, but I do love the uniforms.
Fine stitch work.
Hugo Boss, an excellent automobiles, BMW. So I will say, though, that even the horrors of the Holocaust, when you see that in color... You say you can't go back there because I think people are begging for war right now, but it's just because they've lived in peace for so long.
So guys, don't beg for war. Beg for no war.
No war. Instead, for peace. This has been Chris and Michael's top of the morning podcast here. This has been Chris. No, what should we call ourselves?
Happy New Year. Chris and Mike. Michael.
Let's do this. I would love to do this once a week, but once a month. But we got to come up with a name for it. We're the Irish. What should we be? We're Irish. By the way, are you from the north of Ireland or?
I believe I'm from the west.
The west of Ireland.
Southwest.
Southwest. As am I. Actually, I know I'm from the north part of Ireland. You see, we're getting along here.
Whatever part has the most unprotected sex between family members.
That's what it is.
That's where I'm from.
So we'll think of a name, or maybe the folks even here at our great Chrissy Chaos podcast YouTube can think of a name for this bit. But I'd like to do this bit more and more because I feel like this is one of the rare instances where two white fellas here doing an accent and nobody has a care in the world about it.
We're appropriating a culture that deserves it.
The truth of the matter is here, folks, you can make fun of any white accent you want, Irish, Italian, it doesn't matter. It's only when you do a non-white accent that you get in trouble. Because like I said, they're not playing fair here. It's not, you're picking and choosing. Maybe we should call this episode, maybe we should call this bit Picking and Choosing.
There we are.
This is what it is. This has been an episode of Picking and Choosing here with Chris and Michael Shannon.